all, my name's Claudia Addamo and today I'll be talking to you about implementing a Year 12 biology excursion into the VCE content. Now, as we know, excursions for students means to explore, to participate and to delve deeper into the curriculum that they're being taught. Now, EchoLink is a science and technology facility in Bacchus Marsh and they offer a Year 12 VCE biology program. And it covers one of the key knowledge points from the VCE biology study design being photosynthesis, which means that it covers the purpose of photosynthesis, chloroplasts at the site of photosynthesis, and an overview of the structure and the evidence of their bacterial origins, inputs and outputs of the light-independent and dependent stages of photosynthesis in C3 plants, and factors that affect the rate of photosynthesis, including light, temperature, and carbon dioxide concentration. Now, this program does not only just cover the key knowledge, but it also covers the key science skills, as EchoLink allows students to come into their facility and use their equipment to be able to conduct experiments on their own, obviously as guided by teachers, but generally they are the ones making all the decisions. So they take their prior knowledge and they apply it, and then that way they have a better understanding of what's actually going on with this process. The itinerary for this excursion students would need to arrive early enough to school to get on a coach bus to be at the EchoLink site in Bacchus Marsh by 10 o'clock. Now, there is actually no viable way for students to catch public transport in a quick manner, I guess, unless they had to leave the house at 6 o'clock in the morning. So it's better off catching a bus. So the program runs over 2 sessions with a half an hour break in between. Each session is 2 hours, and then after at 2:30, once the program has been finished, students will get back on a coach bus and head back to school for pickup. Approximately time of arrival at around 3:30 to 4 o'clock, depending on track. Session of the program, being session 1, looks into how does light intensity affect photosynthetic rates. Now here students will be, I guess, told what their experiment is, and they will set up their experiment and actually look into different light intensities and how they affect photosynthetic rates. Then the second part of this session will look into students actually changing that light intensity variable, so that way they can see another variable and how that variable affects photosynthetic rates, which I guess links back to the VCE biology key knowledge of photosynthesis being factors that affect photosynthetic rates, including light, temperature, and carbon dioxide concentration. Now here students will be guided by, I guess, myself as the teacher and the teaching staff that EchoLink provides to follow some form of consistency, to follow that of the VCE study design, instead of just picking random variables that don't have anything to do with photosynthesis. Now, students will actually log all their data on an IMAX server, and here they'll be able to present all their data from the experiments, which will be used later on. Students will then participate in session 2. This means that students will be asked the question, how does light intensity affect gas exchange and why? Now, this is very similar to the setup of session 1, where students conduct an experiment that they are, I guess, given. And then they collect the data, and then the next part of the session would be to answer the question, how do other variables affect gas exchange and why? This is where students are then guided to pick another variable, obviously one that is in the realm of photosynthesis, and then discover why and how it affects gas exchange. For programs prepped to Year 10, EchoLink provide post-activity work, whether that be another activity or whether that be just some follow-up questions. However, when it comes to their VCE programs, EchoLink does not provide any of this. This is due to the fact that the VCE programs that EchoLink offers across all 4 science branches that they do not offer it because all the programs are aligned with the VCE curriculum and hence can be used to satisfy outcomes throughout the curriculum. Now, the photosynthesis program actually satisfies one of the outcomes, being explain the dynamic nature of the cell in terms of key processes, including photosynthesis and the and analyzing the effect of the rate of the biochemical reaction. Now, This means that students can use the data that they had collected at the Excursion facility during their program to comprehensively analyse and explain the dynamic nature of the cells in terms of the cellular process being photosynthesis. Now, this can actually be one of their SACs as part of outcome 1. Now, this means that during the SAC, students would have to analyse and explain the factors that affect the biochemical pathway. So, as students bring on their prior knowledge from previous years and also what they had learnt in the first few lessons of the unit, they bring it into the excursion. They learn and now fully understand the dynamic nature of the chemical pathway of photosynthesis, which then they can use and have an understanding of to use in their outcome and actually achieve the standard.